He could just do the things that he promised to do. And if he did that, I suspect he would change the course of history. He really would, because not only would he show Americans that this was possible, and he would hand over the presidency to whoever his successor is going to be, because if he delivers on his policies, why would anyone vote for anyone else, right?
Well, exactly.
Well, that's exactly the $1 million question. How come Trump didn't do this on his first term? I mean, of course you can point out, that the political game, you can't give him everything the first term because then you need some things to be reelected. But like, what has he done during his first term? So once again, this is like starting to become a familiar thing, because it seems like when these platforms invite these celebrities, as if it like gives it some sort of credibility with whatever they're talking about. Like I do understand, like, there's a very few celebrities like Jon Stewart that will know what they're talking about when it comes to politics, but that's not every celebrity, so it's always this constant battle of these well-known, figures in Hollywood or whatever the case is, that they're always talking about political conversations they know nothing or very little about. And what we're going to get into is a perfect example of that. And one thing that I continue to question is, how do you say you love America? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you say that with your chest and you support someone like Donald Trump? You know what I'm saying? Like, a literal felon is now president and you support that guy. I don't care what he has done or what he didn't do. If you break the law, you break the law. That's simple. That's what conservatives would say, right? It doesn't matter what you done. If you did the crime, you do the time. But no, they support Donald Trump. How do they try to force patriotism into an administration that's literally an oligarchy, a plutocracy? Like, how do you make that work? It's like the child's toy, the plastic square toy that has the cutout shapes. So you got to take the toy shapes and fit it into its proper cutout. It's just like that. And they're trying to force a square into a star cutout shape. And they're just jamming it in there while screaming, "I love America." Like, no, that's not how that works. And then, some telltale signs is when they start talking about the Constitution or the Federalist Papers, which we're going to get into, or the Bill of Rights or anything about the Founding Fathers. And then they try to make that make sense with Trump. It kind of doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? But hey, don't let me tell you. Let's take a listen.
And I think he'll have a slim majority.
Well, let's say he has all of that. And on top of that, this was the election when the media dominance of the conversation ended. So he doesn't have to give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
He's not running for re-election, number one. But more than that, he doesn't have to give a shit what the New York Times think. And so
he still cares, though. Isn't that cute? He wants to be loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I said, you're not going to have Donald Trump. Don't worry about Donald Trump coming over to your house for tea. He's not going to come over for crumpets or whatever you Englishmen eat. He's not going to come for your bar mitzvah, your kid's bar mitzvah. He's not coming for the Thanksgiving dinner. He is going to be like the plumber. When everything, the pipes are breaking and everything, you're not going to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah. He's going to, he's in a bigger way. He's going to be that.
Okay. So to go along with his example there, okay? Cause I love examples. It just kind of clarifies your point or your position. But to use his, one, everyone ran or at least voted for him because they felt like he was relatable. So this whole thing, like, you're not gonna, have the, invite him to your bar mitzvah or whatever the case is. Like, no, they literally voted for him because they said, oh, he understands me, he's relatable. So that's a whole nother, okay, no. Because I truly believe, I don't care personally what these presidents do on their day off, or what they do for fun, or if they go onto this cool podcast. I don't really care about that. I just care about policy. I don't care if you sound robotic. I don't care if you are monotone in all your speeches. If you get the policies done that I like, then I'm going to vote for you. So that's a whole nother. But then he talked about the plumber going in, doing a job that nobody else can. I have a problem with that, because Trump, in this scenario, is the pretend plumber. And you only think he's a real plumber because he played a plumber on TV. That's the only reason. And he has no credentials. He has no experience. He has no receipts in proving to you he can do any sort of plumbing job. I'm sorry. Trump, even in 2016, he showed no proof of governance in any city. Okay, I mean, I think that would be a decent start. He has no proof or receipts of being for other people other than himself. Public service. None of that. He's just a billionaire or a millionaire, whatever, that exploited people in businesses, and we all know the history. So once again, whatever your name is, I don't know, don't really care. Your example is flawed because your understanding is flawed. But hey, we're only a minute in and it's already a bunch of BS we got to work through. So let's continue.
But he's got good people. And I talked to Don Jr., his son, and I said, he didn't have good people around him the first time. And Don admitted, yes, he trusted. I mean, you have to hire like 10,000 people. And he didn't have the best people around him. He admits it. John Bolton is this horrible war hawk that it will have nothing to do with his administration. And I also hope that Pompeo doesn't as well. I'm worried about that because I think he's another guy who's just a war hawk. We got to get out of wars. We need to get people that are not going to be that gung-ho about it.
Oh, so we need to get out of wars. But he's literally, even throughout his first couple of days as president, still talking about invading Greenland, either through force or they give it up in some way, shape, or form. But he's going to take Greenland for whatever stupid reason they come up with. That sounds like you're starting something that doesn't need to be something. Call it a war, call it whatever you want to call it. You're starting something. Hey, once again, that kind of sounds like a different Donald Trump than what is reality. And you say that he's surrounding himself with loyalists. Once again, that is an issue, and he's going to kind of get into it deeper, which contradicts what he's saying now. But here's just a short list of people Trump is surrounding himself with, and you tell me, okay? Google these individuals and tell me, do they have any job experience for the position that Trump has put them in to properly run these positions? We got Howard Lutnick. His position is Secretary of Commerce, but his net worth is $2 billion. I think that part might be a little bit more important. We have Doug Burgum, position Secretary of Agriculture. His net worth is $1.1 billion. Once again, I did a quick Google search. I don't see any prior experience in these positions. I mean, it's just kind of funny. And Linda McMahon, okay, we know who that is. Secretary of Labor, net worth is $1.6 billion. So it seems like the only qualifier for these positions to be filled by these individuals is their net worth. I mean, and that information is for another video, but it's just kind of funny how he's like, yeah, Trump is surrounding himself with the smartest and the brightest people. No, just the wealthiest people. That's it. I mean, there's really nothing to it, but let's continue.
So, I mean, I think it's a good thing he still wants to be liked by the New York Times. He still wants to be loved by that, but he's not going to have to worry about re-election. So I think he's going to worry about his legacy.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I just think he has a chance. The American people have spoken, and he has a chance to deliver the things that they asked for.
Yeah.
And if he just did that, and he didn't worry about the headlines, and he didn't worry about the name calling, and didn't feel that he had to destroy everyone who comes after him, he could just do the things that he promised to do. And if he did that, I suspect he would change the course of history. He really would, because not only would he show Americans that this was possible, and he would hand over the presidency to whoever his successor is going to be, because if he delivers on his policies, why would anyone vote for anyone else, right?
Well, exactly.
Well, that's exactly the $1 million question. How come Trump didn't do this on his first term? I mean, of course you can point out, that the political game, you can't give him everything the first term because then you need some things to be reelected. But like, what has he done during his first term that was like stamp of approval? This is what the American people were dying for, like fixing healthcare or something, or making education affordable, or making prescriptions affordable, or increasing a minimum wage, or increasing the quality of these jobs. No, he didn't. And I mean, if memory serves me right, he lost in 2020. So if he was this amazing president, right? Like this God-given president straight from God to save all Americans, because I guess God only loves America, right? I don't know. How come he didn't like just transform politics his first term? But it's this thing, like these people have like these expectations that they think Trump is going to meet, and he hasn't shown any evidence of even hinting to meet those standards. But they're like, no, this go around, he's going to be presidential, and he's not going to be worried about people liking him and talking about him. When has he demonstrated that in the past 3-4 months? You let me know, because I've been watching wholeheartedly and I haven't seen any. Kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
And then also, Rob, and this is, for us is important, he could show the entire Western world, you don't have to continue going down this path.
Well, it is a reckless path of this idea of the global elites and a one world government. And we have to maintain, if we continue going down this path, it's, as Douglas Murray says, it's Western civilization committing suicide. I mean, when you have now the majority of people in Brussels, Belgium, that are no longer Belgique, but they're foreign born, you really are. This whole replacement theory is another conspiracy theory that 6 months later, 2 years later, has become fact. So I think it's important that we...
Hang on a sec, Rob, but when we say the replacement theory, what are we actually talking about?
I'm talking about...
Because there's an aspect of it which is like, Jews want to replace white people with Muslims in Europe, and that is obviously...
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But that's what some people mean by
Jews
that.
are famously pro-Muslim.
Yeah.
and I wanted to dive deeper into that conspiracy, but I literally want to care about my brain cells. Okay, I don't need to jump down every single rabbit hole that has something to do with Jews replacing anyone. Trust me, there's enough conspiracy theories that I had to wrestle with in my 600 videos. Some things are you don't have to jump down every hole. So I don't really care whatever he is talking about. Trust me, I don't need to. I love myself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to rotten the rest of my brain with more pointless, lack of evidence theories from these idiots. So I chose not to look that up because I don't want to.
Yeah. It's all, Well, you have to be careful with any grandiose statements. Mm-hmm. You just got to look at the numbers. And I would just say also, the thing that's unique about this incredible system, I mean, it ain't perfect. I mean, when our founding fathers, when they said they didn't say we joined together to make a perfect system. No, a better one. That's all. They wanted to have a better one. That with the checks and balances. If you read the Federalist Papers, you know what Madison really wanted to do was to create a system that was hard to subvert into tyranny. And I think he did a pretty good job with it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But what we have is our sovereignty, and that was the biggest thing for me. The biggest worry that I had was the Biden administration wanted to give over sovereignty, whether it's to the World Health Organization, which Trump, towards the end of his first run, got us out of that because he saw how it was being run by China and also run by Bill Gates. It was just funding that organization.
So he's worried about Bill Gates funding an organization that somehow, some way is going to take over the United States and take over the world, like, you know, world domination. But literally Elon Musk, the richest person on planet Earth, okay, who has the capabilities of going to other planets, okay, this guy single-handedly funded Trump's campaign and now has this like make-believe government position. Oh no, but let's be worried about Bill Gates. I don't even know where he's at. I don't even know what he's doing, okay? And I don't care. But what I do care is that this guy named Elon Musk, who just a day ago, depending on when you're watching this, was giving a Nazi salute. That guy right there, we should be worried about. But no, this is, once again, like I told you, these conspiracy theories are not worth going down because we have reality to deal with. It's just kind of weird. And then this whole Federalist papers, who's written by Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay, the first JJ. It's like, I don't know if that's true, but hey, JJ, first off, tyranny is a form of government or authority where power is exercised in a cruel, oppressive, or unjust manner. It often involves the concentration of power, which is important, of power in the hands of a single individual or a small group who use their authority to suppress freedoms, disregard laws, and rule without accountability to the people. It's kind of funny that now the president can act without being charged. Okay, that happened because of Trump, and then we have Trump appointing loyalists into these positions that is not going to serve the Constitution or the American people, but they're going to serve Trump. And they say that in every single interview. They say it out of their own mouths, okay? So once again, he has a different perspective on how Trump is doing things versus reality. It's just kind of weird. A few, let me see, where am I at here? So the Federalist Papers, a few key notes of some of these essays. The essays aim to defend the Constitution and provide arguments for its adoption, emphasizing the need for a strong federal government while maintaining checks and balances. Trump diluted the judicial system by appointing people that's going to serve him and his agenda. Once again, this is not a conspiracy. This is coming out of their own lips. It's ridiculous. Like, why do you need conspiracies when reality is already effed up? I don't know, kind of funny. The importance of dividing power amongst the three branches of government, the legislative, executive, and judicial, to prevent tyranny. Once again, Trump doesn't care about that. He's appointing people that's going to serve him and not the American people. It's a reason why there's different branches and not just one. But Trump doesn't care about that. I don't know, kind of weird. The system of checks, balances, and federalism ensures that minority rights are safeguarded from the majority tyranny. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just, just some history, some facts to wrestle with. That's what we do on this channel, but let's continue.
So, Bill Gates has too much power. It has to be, and we can't have our sovereignty or any nation's sovereignty. We want to keep the individual cultures and what they've developed over hundreds of thousands of years. We want to keep the Gauls French, We want to keep the Swedes. What's happening is, if you're having people come into your society with a spoken plan to subvert your society, you can't bring people into your country who hate you. Mm-hmm. You can't bring people into your country that want to destroy your country.
Who is? I hate these idiots. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't hate them, okay? I need to try hard not to just hate people, but I really dislike these two. Challenge him. Who is the they? Who's the they that is coming into our culture, our living spaces, that hate us, that wants to transform our culture? What does that mean? Because that's starting to, trail off into a lot of white supremacist talking points. He's like right there on the outskirts of just blatantly what is it, the great replacement theory. He's right there, right at the door. All you got to do is just push that sucker in. So once again, challenge him. Who's the they? And what is this grandiose plan of changing culture?
And that will not assimilate. And I will say that the United States seems to be unique in the sense that there's just, I don't know if it's just because there's just so much potential to make money and improve your lives, that it subverts people's religious fervor, and you have a chance here to really become successful. And that's why communism never really took a foothold here. And that's what I was worried about with this. With the Democrats, we're moving more towards this Marxist in the name of woke, which if you...
First off, if you know any... Oh my God, man, see, in this is what annoys me, because I spent so much time, so many countless days reading upon these subjects, and just to have idiots like this, communist and woke, the Democratic... No. Do you even know what that means? Do you know what communism means? Socialism means? That is light years away from the centrists, the liberals, the Democratic Party as a whole, besides the 5% of the progressives. They're light years away, not even in the same reality. But once again, they just marry these two ideas as if it's true. No. Not even in the same ballpark. But the two idiots are not going to even challenge him. But like, what do you mean? Like, give me some examples of the Democratic Party, like Joe Biden, okay, far from progressive from any definition, or Harris, and how does that is getting closer to Marxist or anything that's true to socialism? Because I want to know. Because I spent months reading six, 7 books upon this subject. I'm confused. Teach me something. But, hey, we're just saying things just to say it, right? Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
All these Trojan horse terms that Andrew Doyle speaks about. It's true. These are, social justice, as Thomas Sowell says, sounds great. But when you open it up, hey, that's grievance. That's revenge. These are people that's envy. These are people that are angry and that want to, revenge on everybody else. So these Trojan horse terms, but were adopted by the Democrats in an ever wanting to a power grab. And it seemed like they were just punishing the average person. So I think it was important that there was a pushback against that and a real rejection. And I hope we can go back to where these countries will reclaim their sovereignty and hopefully only have people in the United States get subverted to the system and they assimilate. So that's happened so far. And so while it's imperfect and while capitalism also leaves people behind, it does afford one to improve your life and to improve the life of your children. And that's everything. And so communism didn't take over there. However, the Marxists knew that the worker in the West, it was never going to happen. The Marxist revolution was never going to happen. And there were two revolutions from Marx. I'm sorry, from Mao, 1949, but then the Cultural Revolution in 1966. And that was specifically to get rid of the four olds, he called it, which was habits, tradition, culture, and I'm blanking on one more.
Maybe religion?
It's tradition, religion.
Okay, once again, and I tried to follow along, and I still don't understand how he's trying to equate. I guess what he's saying is immigrants from coming into the country and just adopting American culture. But what does that have to do with Marxists? I'm having a hard time connecting the two, because it just feels like he just doesn't want other cultures here, because it's going to replace what he's used to. And once again, when you try so hard to fit a square into a star circle shape, it's going to sound like a bunch of BS. And to be honest, hey, I'm open to these conversations. It sounds like a bunch of BS to me. It doesn't make sense. And you can, say all the keywords, Marxist and socialism and communism and Chinese and China. You can say all these keywords that you want. When it comes to people who's read upon these subjects, it just sounds like a bunch of jargon that you're just trying to fit into a sentence to support your claim, to support your argument. And I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. And it would be helpful, once again, if these idiots would challenge him on anything. But no, they're just going to just continue to BS.
Rituals and, religion for sure. But I think that was pretty much gone by 66. Yeah. So what the Marxists had to do was to sneak in through education and subvert the society through the education. They've been very successful at that now.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate this so much, because this reminds me of Angela Davis, using education as some sort of like scapegoat to say people being educated is a bad thing. So Marxists was smart enough to, I guess, hijack education here in America, okay? And that's going to turn educated people against the greater good. Once again, it doesn't make any sense. And if you know anything about people using education to actually liberate themselves, because now, it's kind of stupid, I gotta explain this. When you're educated, you're more aware to the bullshit that is going on around you. And people like this, they don't want that. They want people to stay stupid and just stay like worker ants. Do not question what's being told to you. Don't question the institutions and the systems around you. Just be quiet and just formulate to what's being given to you. I don't know. I think that's kind of what's going on, huh?
Through the university and then going up into K through 12. And it really is to cause so much, I think the plan is to cause so much grievance and so much chaos that people, and I think the Democrats are part of this too, we're trying to cause so much chaos that they'd be willing to give up their liberties for just some sense of calm.
I think that's kind of weird. We're going to we're going to demonize education. And the Democrats, they're all a part of that. I don't know. Statistically speaking, there's more educated individuals that support the Democratic Party than individuals that support the Republican Party. And statistically, a lot of Republican voters don't graduate high school compared to Democrat voters who have graduated high school. I mean, it's just a weird thing. I don't know, like, think what you want with that information, but I think, this is just my opinion, they want to capitalize and use individuals that lack the understanding. That's simple. But hey, what do I know? I'm just an educated individual that graduated high school and did a little somewhat college. So I guess I'm just part of the Marxists, which, you know, hey, that's a whole nother, because I am a democratic socialist, but hey, I'm just crazy, right? I don't love America. I hate America, and I just wanted to see it burn, right? I guess, I don't know. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Discord button so me and you can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.